Good day, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Imagination Station. It's your favorite author, Lisa Walker McCrae, with another absorbing story time from the pages of my novel, A Peculiar Kind of Love. Remember, you guys, this video is for entertainment purposes only. First and foremost, big ups to the Most High Yah, and a special shout out to those who are still in this thing with me, and a special shout out to those who are sharing these story times. You guys are definitely on my radar. Good things come to those who share. With that being said, are you guys ready to stimulate those imaginations and turn some pages? I thought so. Charnsey, set the stage. Okay, quick recap, my faithful earlenders. In our last story time, Drew took heed to the tap on her shoulder and used the time given to get closer to the Creator and invest in self. She also invested some time in her and Carl's relationship. The two seem to have gotten closer. Now, Marcus is still in jail. He's been for the last 3 years now. We don't know exactly how much time he got, but he's still in there. And Drew has stuck to her word. Our girl has not been to see him once. Now, we left her at the grand opening of Serenity Meadows, the cute little bread and breakfast she turned the Victorian home into. Everything seemed to be a success. Drew was standing behind the podium thanking Yah. Afterwards, she greeted the guests with blessings for coming out and supporting her. Drew then gifted them with a night's stay with 50% off. The guests were thankful. Drew addressed the crowd a few moments more before Mayor Stone handed her a pair of giant scissors. She smiled for the guests and for the promised say. Readying herself to cut the ribbon, out of nowhere, Gabe started jumping around with excitement, asking if he could do it. Everyone laughed at his determination, grabbing at the scissors, trying to cut the ribbon. Drew allowed him to cut it. There was no way she could reject such a sweet face. Besides, Gabe had been her shadow the last 6 months, helping pick out wallpaper, wall decor, curtains, rugs, and some of the furniture, so why not? Gabe excitedly cut the ribbon. "Look, Daddy, I used the big scissors." He looked out at his father, giving him a thumbs up. After the ribbon cutting, Drew spoke with a few of the guests before starting the tour. She was amazed, and Drew's heart was overjoyed that everyone was so eager to help out with whatever she needed, from supplies to employment. Drew headed for the house to begin the tour when a familiar voice echoed from behind her, pausing Drew's steps. Drew cringed, took a deep breath, and exhaled. She thought to herself, this was not the time or the place for childish behavior. Drew turned, meeting eyes with oil. "Rebecca, what a surprise. It's been a long time," she stated. "Not long enough," Drew thought to self, handing Rebecca a pleasant but fake smile. The women embraced one another. It was only right if they were cordial in front of the guests. If y'all remember, Rebecca was one of Drew's rivalries from childhood. These two were like oil and water, and may need a chaperone. Anyway, Rebecca lifted her brow, giving Drew a once-over. "Wow, Drew, country life seems to be setting in well. I think they call that country thick." Rebecca gave Drew another once-over, this time adding a smug look. "Sorry to hear about Marcus. I know these last few years have been hard on you." Drew gave Rebecca a sarcastic smile. She could tell by Rebecca's tone she was trying to be derisive, but today was important, and she would not allow this trick to ruin it. Drew leaned forward and whispered in Rebecca's ear, "Which part stings the most, Rebecca? Knowing the man you spent most of your life trying to manipulate loved me enough to make me his wife? Or the fact that I'm still thriving without him?" Drew gave Rebecca a wink, then started the tour. FYI, Rebecca, Marcus is not here to save you this time, so I suggest you take it down a notch, okay? Anywho, Gabe ran before everyone just so he could open the French doors. Drew laughed at his determination to make everyone feel welcome. She proceeded her tour. Oohs and ahs rumbled through the crowd. Everyone admired how Drew saved the authenticity of the home, accompanied by modern upgrades. The B&B held accommodations for all ages. It had a gym, a pool, a sunroom, a playground, a TV room, and even a game room. The guests were excited and ready to book. After touring the downstairs, the guests then followed Drew upstairs, where Gabe was happy to explain each theme room. Okay, let me explain. So Drew personally gave each room its own theme in hopes the guests wouldn't go bored with the room while they stayed. Anywho, Drew was now looking at Gabe with pure amazement as he gave the presentation to the music room. He'd been shadowing her the last few weeks, following her from room to room as she practiced her presentation. Never did Drew imagine he was listening. Gabe was giving a better presentation than she was. Of course, Drew allowed Gabe to take over the presentation for the safari room and the music room, but the last two rooms were her favorite, and Drew wanted to give them a glamorous introduction, so she humbly asked Gabe to stand down. Drew went on to address the guests. I hope you guys are enjoying the tour. Can we give our little tour guide a hand here, she asked. The guests applauded Gabe. Drew then went on to inform them out of all the rooms this was her favorite, and the theme derived from a trip her and Chantel always planned to take but never got the chance. The guests awed with sympathy. I present to you the Paris room. Drew opened the door, revealing a pink, gray, and white Paris-themed room. The guests, mostly women, were in awe. The room had taken their breath away. Everything in the room was Paris, the Eiffel Tower being the main focus. Some of the guests were so fascinated by the room, they assured Drew they would be booking sooner rather than later, just to lay in the antique white canopy bed, a bed fit for a queen. Drew continued her tour to the last room, located upstairs. This room was a third-floor add-on and Drew's absolute favorite. She spent most of her time designing this room, putting all she had into it. Drew wanted a room that would bring tranquility to one's heart, a room that would allow the guests to be one with nature and Yah. The guests followed Drew upstairs. I would like to present the nature room, Drew stated, opening the door to a glass room that gave the whole experience of nature. The guests were speechless. All they could do was absorb the calming essence of the room. The design was unbelievable. The guests could see the entire 60 acres from the room, including the lake. There was a built-in water fountain on the north wall that soothed the soul as the water ran over the black rocks, blending in with the sounds of the rainforest coming from every direction. The room housed a California king-size bed that sat in the middle of the floor. The bed unique in its own light, custom made with tree branches and a Chester dresser to match. The guests were intrigued, never seeing a room so unique. If Drew wanted a room that would bring tranquility to one's heart and soul, this was definitely it. Not only were the walls glass, but the ceiling was as well. The guests could see the open skies. The balcony also held a unique touch. Sliding the door back, Drew revealed a place of pure delight. The balcony was pleasantly lined with all sorts of tropical and domestic plants, making it feel as though you were really having a rainforest experience. The guests absolutely adored the room. Drew could see it in their faces as they made themselves more familiar with the space. Out of nowhere, Dean hooked Drew's arm, smiling and squealing with excitement. "Girl, you did a fantastic job with this room," she complimented. Dean was just as excited about the tour in the rooms as the guests were, being that she was not allowed to see the place until Drew was finished. Actually, no one was. Drew hugged Dean. "Thank you, girl. This one is my favorite." Dean agreed it was her favorite as well, expressing she might have to book her and Jay a room soon. The women laughed. "So, who's the 10 talking to Jay?" Dean asked, noticing Rebecca's interaction with Jay. Drew looked at Dean, letting out a sigh. "That's Rebecca Sims, an old classmate." "So, what's up with her?" Dean asked, noticing the smug look on Drew's face. This woman was a thorn in Drew's side, and Dean wanted to know why. Dean a little nosy, huh? Anyway, Drew informed Dean she and Rebecca used to be friends in grade school, but once they got to middle school, things changed. Yeah, and then it was this thing about a note that came up, Drew nonchalantly informed. Dean was now invested. What note, she asked with a need to know. Drew shrugged her shoulders, explaining one day after school, Rebecca approached her, waving a note in her face, warning her to stay away from Marcus, then stated she was desperate. Drew chuckled. "I didn't know what she was talking about, so I asked Marcus, and he told me not to worry about it, that he would talk to Rebecca." The need to know craving tapped at Dean's thoughts. "So, what was in the note? What did it say?" she asked with excitement. Once again, Drew shrugged her shoulders, informing Dean she had no clue, and after that, she stayed clear of Rebecca and Marcus. Dean watched Rebecca as she flirted with Jay, sticking her fingers in his dimples. She then looked over at Drew with a rebellious smile. "I think it's time for a bit of an intervention." Drew glared at Dean, under-eyed. With a soft growl, she stated, "Get a killer." By this time, Mayor Stone had made his way over to Drew, praising her for a job well done. He did a little flirting on the side as well. "Miss McCain, if I had a wife," Mayor Stone took Drew's hand, "I'd have her all up in this room." Drew chuckled, catching the line Mayor Stone threw at her, at the same time avoiding the bait, encouraging Mayor Stone his wife could be in that very room because there were a lot of single women in there. Mayor Stone stepped out of bounds, placing a kiss upon Drew's hand. He stated there were in fact a lot of single women in the room, but there was only one single lady he had his eye on. With the quickness, Drew pulled her hand back. She thanked Mayor Stone for his kind words, but informed him she was not shopping. Drew then walked off, leaving Mayor Stone with only ambition. Mayor Stone admired Drew as she walked off. "You may not be looking right now, but you will be," he uttered to self before noticing Miss Sue. He then called out to her about Promise's annual Juneteenth celebration. Drew shook her head. Mayor Stone gave her dirty old man vibes. She cringed. "Okay, like an old dude that twinkles the palm of your hand with his index fingers when he shakes it." Yuck. Dean didn't quite see it that way. She was walking over to Drew, smiling from ear to ear. "I see you over here talking to the mayor. Did he ask you out yet?" "No," Jay stated loud enough to gain a few eyes. "Drew, Drew threw her hands up, pausing Jay's words, smiling at the nosy eyes. "Jay, please, no one is going out with no one. Calm down." Drew then frustratedly informed she had guests to tend to. Rolling her eyes at Jay, she walked off. "Let me find out," Jay stated loudly. Drew shook her head. She was really beginning to hate the big brother role Jay played. He'd been overly protected since Marcus got locked up, and she was sick of it. Jay was scanning calls, doing pop-ups at her job. He'd even tried to give Drew a curfew, claiming Gabe's sleep was being disturbed whenever she came in after his bedtime. At this point, Drew knew it was time to move into the Victorian home. The home had been locked down for a year anyway before Drew decided to move in. Each time she passed the home on her way to Shiloh City or to Jay's, it gave her energy. Drew prayed for the day she'd have enough courage and strength to live in the house alone. Well, that day finally came when Jay demanded she be in the house by 9 p.m. Oh yeah, Jay was definitely tripping, and although Drew loved him and Gabe, the space they shared started to get a little cramped, with alter egos, attitudes, demands, disagreements, and control. For this reason, Drew felt it was better if she just moved out. Even though Jay put up a fuss, Drew finally got him to understand Gabe was being affected by the animosity in the house. See, y'all made Drew very uncomfortable so she could move out, didn't he? But that's what he do. He'll make you so uncomfortable in a situation when he's trying to move you around that you have no other choice but to move around. You hear me? Anywho, moving forward, Drew completed her tour, giving the guests full access to the B&B. She wanted everyone to feel comfortable and make themselves at home, and the only way to do that was to allow them to kick off their shoes, relax, and enjoy the place. Drew also announced there were refreshments on the deck in the backyard. She didn't only want the guests to enjoy the home's beauty, but she also wanted them to bask in the essence of the outdoor comfort. And the backyard was definitely something to indulge in. Let's just say any botanical garden would hide their face in shame looking at the beauty and comfort the backyard held. The guests made themselves at home. Some headed for the refreshment table, while others revisited their favorite area of the home. Drew could see everyone was comfortable and having a good time, so she did a little private happy dance. "Excuse me, Mrs. McCain?" A pleasant voice summons Drew away from her happy dance. Drew quickly gathered herself. "Yes, may I help you?" she asked. Eyeing the woman, instantly snapshots flashed in Drew's memory. This was the classy lady from Dean's Boutique she'd seen a few times before. More images presented themselves. This was also the same lady from Mystic Pier who'd given Gabe the pinwheel. The same lady that seemed to haunt my Tate. Drew was weirded out. All this time she tried to remember, now it was all lining up. Drew was glad the Tates were out of state. Now she could investigate without my Tate getting in the way. Drew was determined. One way or another, she would find out who this mystery woman was. Oh, beautiful souls. Looks as though we have another mystery to solve. There's never a dull moment in this village. So, if you're game and have this craving for a need to know, meet me back here at Imagination Station so we can find out who this woman is. Until then, beautiful souls, remember this. We never usually know where the train is going, but we do know it has a destination. Y'all bless this reading and yourselves. Smooches.